Every class can heal in 11.1.7. Lots of new content and so many events. 11.1.7 just around the corner, boys and girls. This thing's dropping next month. We already know that. It's a June patch here. So we're getting this one soon. Exciting, fun. I'm ready for it. Let's see what's going on here for all the Gregs of accounting with overpowered delves and everybody else who's running everything up to item levels. So much to get into. Let's let this video start.
Hey folks, this is Kalani. Patch 11.1.7 is shaping up to be a pretty huge patch. We have new story content, new ways to experience important lore moments with some big lore reveals thrown in for good measure, special overcharged delves offer new challenges, and a crazy powerful piece of gear to collect and upgrade. The combat assistant will help you master your rotation. There are new achievements.
He's one buttoning it, boys. That's it. That's it. This is the end of WoW, right? That's it. It's over. Yeah. So much drama over this thing.
So many events
Ridiculous.
are returning, and every class will get a new healing spell. So let's go over all of the new features coming in 11.1.7 and what we know so far. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. To start with, we're going to have some new story quests and content in patch 11.1.7.
Cadence, we got to review it, okay? We got to review this shit because I forget things, okay?
Tensions are boiling over in the Arathi
Usually
Highlands.
I miss stuff too.
Farms and settlements are under attack. Both the Horde forces and the Alliance forces in the area are blaming each other, but something else seems to be at work. The Defias Brotherhood have popped up once again, but they're working for, or alongside, a new faction called the Red Dawn.
See, I didn't know the Defias Brotherhood. I mean, that's a cool one. That's a cool one. I knew the Red Dawn was a thing. Defias Brotherhood enacting in it.
Have to figure out who the Red Dawn are, what they want, and why they're trying to ignite a new war between the races of Azeroth. Now, usually a patch 0.7 story content sets the stage for the next major patch, so 11.2 could deal with this new Red Dawn, but that seems to take us further away from Xal'atath and the Void, and there's no real mention of a new zone from what I can tell so far, so this could just be the start of something else. The Red Dawn may come into play a little bit later on, and 11.2 could be something entirely different. We're just going to have...
I've talked about this before, and with 11.1.7, I actually feel like he's saying it's leading us away from Xal'atath. We are going to get some Xal'atath lore in 11.1.7. I'm sure he's going to mention that here in a little bit. But this stuff right here, the Arathi, all this stuff about these groups forming and everything else and going back through the old human lore, I feel like this is all laying the ground. This is like the first patch of what's going to come after the Last Titan. I really believe that. I feel like this Light Emperor, other side of Azeroth, Arathi Empire, all this shit is being laid for the next chapters of World of Warcraft, because I really feel like we're going to get a soft reset-esque of WoW after the Last Titan, where basically we're going to get a whole other side of Azeroth, 2 big continents, a whole new world. Essentially, Aladdin's flying us there on his magic carpet. It's going to be cool. Plus, basically, you're getting new Azeroth, all new upgraded graphics systems, everything else, but also a return to the basics. Less cosmic powers, less big old god shit going on, and more just like warring factions. This Light Emperor, this human empire that we're going to discover, and everything else, more grounded shit. More, basically short sword and shield, grounded lore going down. So I'm excited for this. And I think 11.1.7 is the first laying of the ground of that kind of lore.
To wait and see.
The extreme light, exactly.
On the topic of story content, another new feature coming in 11.1.7 is called Lore Walking. You can visit Lore Walker Cho to experience key lore moments from the past. With the patch launch, we'll have access to 3 stories. One deals with Xal'atath, how they went from being a trapped void entity in the Shadow Priest Legion artifact weapon to the monster that has been haunting us all throughout the War Within. There's also a new segment which deals with Xal'atath's past revolt against the old gods back in the days of the Black Empire,
this is gonna be really
which
cool
we
to play
have
through.
never seen before, so this isn't just going over old lore. There are also new tidbits thrown in here as well. The second story deals with the Ethereals, who they are, where they came from, and what their goals may be. We also take a quick look at the Brokers from Shadowlands, and just as with the Xal'atath story, there is something new here. We get to learn about the connections between the Ethereals and the Brokers, and why they seem to be so similar. The Ethereals will become more important to the story, as they have already lost one world to the Void, so they may be the key in helping us avoid the same fate. And then the third story is all about Arthas, which seems to be
can't
more
wait,
of a
man.
member berry edition when compared to the other two, so you get to relive
You gotta get to play as the fucking Lich King. I mean, I don't know what else is more boner inducing than this. This is it. I'm gonna be so damn excited to play through this, and I'm just letting you guys know from now, when you watch me play through this on stream, wear your man diapers, because there's gonna be splooging going down.
Arthas went from a promising paladin and prince of the kingdom
I can't
to
wait.
the nefarious Lich King, and of course we get to experience his fall at the end of
Oh, we're gonna fight against ourselves in the raid. We got to do this as Illidan, right? You know how I did this as Illidan. You know what I did? I really prolonged this fight, because if you actually ignore the tank and you just kill all the healers, this fight will last like for hours. You just make this thing go on forever.
You don't have to clear through each story all in one sitting. You can hop out whenever you need to and continue that story where you left off any time. You can also do these lore walking stories at any point above level 10, so you can get some experience on low level characters while learning about the past. Each story section has a new toy as a reward for its completion. The Xalatath toy will whisper to you, the Ethereal toy turns you into one of the Karash Ethereals when used, and then the Arthas toy turns you into a ghostly visage of Arthas.
Very cool.
So there's some pretty cool toys to pick up here as well. Now what's really cool about this new feature is that it has so much room for expansion. Whenever a storyline becomes relevant or important, the dev team can just package the key moments of that story together and create a new lore walking experience to get everyone caught up. It works as a fantastic refresher. A lot of these moments happened over several years worth of expansions after all, and it's a great way to experience the lore if you're new to the game. It seems like the dev team already...
Samantha would leave his wife for Arthur. It is confirmed. I agree that lore walker stuff is a really cool way for Blizzard to retell stories, because there's a lot of good older stories in this game that have never really been told to their full extent in the game. So this is a really cool way to revisit some of that stuff.
Plans on expanding the feature as well. It looks like there is a Blood Elf storyline in the game files that deals with the Sunwell, which will be a very important storyline to understand as we head into the next expansion.
Yeah, this is going to be very important for Midnight. We already know we're going back to Silvermoon, the uniting of the elves and Silvermoon. All that shit's going to go down. I still believe Silvermoon's going to be the hub city for the Midnight expansion because they're rebuilding it. This kind of stuff, yeah, revisiting the Sunwell and all that will be interesting.
Right. We don't know a lot about the next expansion and its storyline, but we do know it will involve the Void assaulting, or maybe even taking control of the Sunwell. So understanding its history and importance should make the new expansion story more interesting. So I would expect that lore walking story to become available before the Midnight expansion goes live. But that just goes to show how this feature can be used to better explain key lore moments in bite-sized pieces, which is something that World of Warcraft has struggled to do for quite a while now. Now moving on, Delves will be getting a big update in patch 11.17 as well. With the addition...
Honestly, this is probably one of the biggest updates of this patch. These overcharged Delves seem like they're going to be some very interesting content, like a Mythic Plus version of Delves. As I said before, the casual gamer, the Gregs of accounting, and everyone else who played this game pretty much solo at this point, this is going to be really, really good for them. I mean, they're going to be able to push their item levels real high. It's going to give them a little bit of a challenge. You know, Greg might be screaming like a little girl in his basement while his wife is sleeping upstairs because of how exciting some of this stuff's going to be for him. And I'm actually happy for a lot of the people who play this game in a solo way, because this is really good content for them. And everyone's going to have to do it, because they're giving us, by the way, that disc belt, which is going to be a best-in-slot belt for everybody. So everyone's going to get a little chance to taste these overcharged Delves.
Of overcharged Delves. These will provide greater challenges and even better rewards when compared to normal Delves, and they'll have a new icon on the world map so you can easily check which Delves are overcharged. Throughout an overcharged delve, you're going to find these shock traps, so you want to avoid those for the most part, and you'll also find new Titan-themed monsters and rares to kill. All of these new monsters will drop some Titan disc shards, which you'll be using to fuel a new trait tree. There are 10 traits total in this tree, and some of them have multiple points, so you can keep putting points in to become even more powerful. Some of them will provide extra effects while you're in combat, like dealing a bunch of damage and stunning enemies, or dealing AoE damage whenever you get hit. But there are also effects that tie into the special shock traps on the ground. Not only can you negate most of the negative effects from those traps, but you can actually turn them into buffs and boons.
That's cool.
So as you unlock more traits in this tree, overcharged Delves are actually going to become much easier, and you'll be able to charge through them, slaughtering everything in your path. So if you haven't been able to clear up to tier 11 delves so far in the season,
I'm pretty sure you're going to get these little discs, which is the cost of these for each of these upgrades. There's going to be like a quest every week or something. So this is kind of like time-gated content, right? I don't know how many weeks this will take you. I'm assuming you get the first one automatically. Then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's about how long the patch lasts, so that makes sense.
New Overcharged Delve trait tree should give you the extra boost you need to fully clear delves on every difficulty.
Yeah, more currencies.
Dagran is also going to have a unique item for us to pick up and upgrade. As you take part in Overcharged Delves, you'll unlock the new belt. Disc, a special belt slot item that might be our new Circe's Circlet for patch 11.17. The belt doesn't have any stamina or secondary stats, but it does have primary stats, as well as a special effect that turns you into a lightning rod to deal damage to nearby enemies. The belt is going to start at item level 684, and the more you run through your delves, the more you'll be able to upgrade its item level to make it even more powerful.
So, I mean, one thing about this belt is, yes, it is going to kind of push people who don't do delves right now into doing delves. Like, say you're just a person who does raiding content in this game. Maybe you milk your stream constantly to be able to advance your own raiding skills and raiding boss kills. I don't know who the hell does that, but fuck that person. What I'm saying is this Titan thing is going to be something that even if you raid and you don't typically do delves, it's kind of going to push you in that direction because you're going to have to upgrade this belt, get it all the way maxed out because it really is going to be your best in slot belt for this season and probably the next one because you'll be able to push its item level up to 700. So we're going to have to do delves, guys.
Too sure just how far this item level will go yet, but if the Circe's Circlet is anything to go by, I'm sure this belt will end up being very powerful by the end of the patch. We'll also have all new rewards like new collectibles including a mount and pet, new gearing options, and you'll be able to earn more Delves currency as well. Another huge update coming through with patch 11.1.7 is the addition of the Combat Assistant Highlight option. You can turn this on in the Advanced Options menu, and if you've used a Rotation Assist add-on like Heculi before, this is going to look very similar. After you turn this on, your action bars will start highlighting the next button that you should push in your rotation. So if you just follow along with the green highlights, you'll probably do a good chunk of damage for your current class and spec. The Rotation Assistant also takes your talents into account, and it's smart enough to swap between single target and AoE rotations depending on how many monsters that you're fighting. This could be a good way
I like this thing. I think it's great. I personally don't use the Heculi add-in, but I know it's got like 54 million downloads, so a lot of people do use it. I think this is a good add-in. We'll see if it works as good as the add-on. I'm sure there's going to be comparison videos out there about it. But overall, this isn't the one that's really controversial. There's another add-in that's going to be controversial.
Time reading class guides
on Xbox soon, maybe.
Or if you're picking up a new class or spec for the first time. It's important to note that this assistant won't usually include major cooldowns, so you're still going to have to time those properly by yourself, and it also won't use any defensive abilities, healing abilities, on-use items like trinkets or special gear, and you're going to have to move your character yourself, so it doesn't play the game for you by any stretch of the imagination, but it will help you kick out a little bit of extra damage if you aren't already playing optimally. With a Rotation Assistant and
I think this Rotation Assistant is going to be great. It's going to help people learn their specs too, which is really, really good. Yeah, we already achieved most of our goals, just doesn't matter. Like, this late in the season, you're talking about time gating. Look, I mean, time gating, I think Blizzard's got a little bit overboard with it. Like the whole thing where we still haven't gotten horrific visions, which are seriously the only reason to do this fucking patch. And that's kind of sad. I agree. This patch hit like a limp fucking noodle. It's missing half of its content, and by the time we get the content, I feel like a lot of people have already checked out from this patch. So that's kind of sad because I think these horrific visions are actually going to be fun. Blizzard needs to take it a little bit easier on the time getting. I understand the desire to extend out a patch a little bit, but just make good content that will keep people coming back rather than time gating the content. That's probably the better way to do it. Time gate it a little bit, that's fine with me. You don't got to give everybody full fucking tier 4 set day one. You want to time gate the way the little conversion catalyst works and stuff like that. That makes sense to me. But the rest of this, some of this stuff is just a bit too much.
You can also find a new button at the top right of your spellbook called Single Button Assistant. You can drag this button down onto your bars like any other spell, and you can press this one button
right,
repeatedly
Artemis.
to cycle through your suggested rotation. So if you don't want to learn the rotation manually, or if you have difficulty keeping up with a rotation for whatever reason, you can use this button to play your core rotation for you. There is a global cooldown penalty for using this button, so your overall combat flow is going to be much slower, and manually executing an optimal rotation will always yield much higher damage numbers.
Yeah.
But this is a very nice accessibility option, and it should make...
You can see the single button rotation thing is right here. It's got a global cooldown, so it's never going to be as good as you manually doing your buttons because you're going to be slower if you're using it. Some people have already said this, and I said it as well when it first came out. I'm like, maybe this is the start of WoW going to Xbox. You know, one single button rotation would work pretty good on a controller. Yeah, it would. So we'll see. But for now, this is how it'll work. Also, even the little helper, I mean, this person's got both of them enabled. He's got single button, and he's got the Heckly, basically, add-on helping as well.
Playing new alts or characters,
but it's already confirmed
in general.
You basically get a decent amount of drop off on DPS if you use this thing.
It makes playing with a controller a complete breeze.
I personally don't hate it. I keep pausing here because I just feel like there's some people who want to play the game this way, and that's okay. They want to play the game this way. They want to just be casual about it. They don't care about being top DPS. They don't care about hardcore rating. They just want to run around and herbalize shit, maybe run some delves. Greg from accounting, you know, maybe this is how they want to play the game. So that's okay. At least they can now. I'm not a hater
which can
of
be
it.
fun for a chill night of gaming while doing things like legacy content for transmog or open world content like questing. We'll also see a lot of different events return for patch 11.17, starting with the Greedy Emissary event. This one was pretty fun when we've seen it previously. Treasure goblins from Diablo cross over into our realm, and they're basically just massive loot pinatas. They spawn in key capital cities, and as long as you get a hit on one of these pesky pilferers, you'll have a chance at some shiny loot. We're not too sure how expansive the loot rewards are going to be, like if all of the previous event rewards will be available, but we do know that there will be a bunch of new diabolical goodies to collect. The highlights are new recolors of the tier 2 class sets that were introduced during the anniversary.
No, of course you don't hate it. It'll be a DPS increase for you. All right, Clarbidia. Yeah, chat's so angry. No, really, I just feel like, you know, there's some people who want to play the game like this, so let them play the game like that. I don't give a shit.
Event, and a lot of these sets look really cool, so that's going to be really exciting, and there will be a new mount included in the reward list as well. Now, alongside this event, we'll also be getting the Collector's Bounty buff, which will increase the loot drops in all legacy content. So if you enjoy collecting transmog from all the raids or dungeons, you should get a lot more loot from each run during this event, which will allow you to fill up that transmog collection much faster. It may just be increased loot drops, but it could also apply to special rewards like toys, pets, and mounts, and if that's the case, this could be the best time to pick up those pesky low drop mounts like Ashes of Allah and Invincible. We'll get more information about this event as we get closer to patch day. We're also going to see the return of the Turbulent Timeways event. This will basically just be back-to-back timewalking events for 6 weeks, rotating through the various expansions. That makes it a great time to farm time-warped badges or to buy up anything you want from the timewalking expansion vendors.
This is great. Blizzard talked about making time walking more difficult and rewarding. I wonder if that's part of this patch. I know that's a future plan of theirs. They even talked about, what was it? I don't know which one's more, champion or veteran gear, but like upping the gear, what's it called? Item level drop rate. So you're going to have higher item level gear dropping from these events, but they also wanted to make them harder. So they want time walking to become more relevant in the game.
Weekly events also make it a good time to gear up. On the PTR, the weekly box rewards champion gear right now, but during this event it's usually bumped up to heroic gear. We'll have to wait and see if that's the case for this event, but you'll have 6 weekly boxes of loot to pick up, so that could net you some decent gear upgrades. Time walking has always been a great time to level your alts as well, so if there are any alts you still haven't gotten around to yet, the Turbulent Timeways event should be a good opportunity for leveling those up. Taking part in the Turbulent Timeways event will also earn you the Chrono Corsair mount, which is the infinite pirate dragon model that everyone...
This was all Blizzard had to do to convince me to do time walking. I'm doing it, okay? You got to do this thing. It's going to take some work, guys. You got to stack up the buff 4 times over to be able to get this. You get 1 buff per dungeon run. The buff lasts about an hour, so you're going to have to continually run these about 4 back to back to back to be able to get the buff. You got to do that for 5 weeks. Okay, this whole event lasts 6 weeks long, so you can only miss 1 week during the event to get this buff. If you want this Chrono Corsair Dragon, which is literally the pirate dragon mount from the BFA dungeon. Yes, our captain is a pirate. Remember that line? Yeah, Time Captain Hooktail. Badass. Okay, it's a cool mount. I'm going to want to get it. And if anybody else wants to get it, you're going to have to get started on this as soon as this event goes live.
Wanted to get their hands on when we first saw this chap as a dungeon boss, so we'll finally be able to ride around on a pirate dragon. As part of this...
Oh shit, hold on. Am I going to Disney for 2 weeks during this event? Oh, fuck. I might be. Oh, shit. Well, here's the thing. If you miss out on the Chrono Corsair mount, the one that they did for the last event is now going to be made available for like however many. It's like 5,000 Timewalking currency or something. So, I mean, I guess if you miss it, you miss it. Shit. I got to cancel the family vacation. I can't do this. I got to get this mount. Oh, no.
Going to see the
My kids are going to be sad.
Battle for Azeroth Timewalking, so we'll be venturing through some new, older dungeons.
Yeah, I'm going to time walk at Disney.
And there's a new vendor with a bunch of goodies to pick up. That vendor is going to have a few mounts, including the Timely Buzzbee mount. So if you didn't pick that up during the last Turbulent Timeways event, I guess that's going to be available as well. There are new toys and pets.
How much is it? 2,000 did he show there? Where is it? Buzzbee or whatever? Okay, I don't even see it here. But yeah, it's whatever. You're fucking time walking badges.
There are new toys and pets to pick up, a whole bunch of transmog options, including armor ensembles and various weaponry colors, and you'll also be able to buy reputation tokens for the Battle for Azeroth factions and reputations. So if you want to quickly earn rep for achievements or other rewards, the Time Walking vendor will make that much easier as well. There are some other special rewards coming to Time Walking too. These Time Lost cosmetics are special lore-related items used by powerful characters. Like
when are you going to Disney, Sam? July 8th for 2 weeks. So I'm going to be gone those 2 weeks of July.
Time Lost Worldbreaker.
I'll just stream from there. Fuck it. We'll run dungeons and Magic Kingdom.
Fiery hammer and swing it around to your heart's content. The time-lost Sight of the Shadowmoon looks like Ner'zhul's staff from Warlords of Draenor, so that's a very cool piece to pick up.
Yeah, these are very cool lore items.
Wolfbite, Legacy of Garad is the axe used by Gunnar in Warlords of Draenor, so if you want a real Frostwolf axe for your Orc characters, this will be a great item to unlock. There's the time-lost Dreadbow of the Banshee, which is the bow that Sylvanas used for most of the time between Legion and Shadowlands, and then the time-lost Tempest Caller is the only non-weapon item on the list so far, and this one actually ties into the lore walking feature, as it's one of the items you need to collect in the Xal'atath storyline. It's a pretty cool looking helm piece too. Each of these items will probably be sold by the Time Walking vendor during the expansion event that best fits the item, so the Deathwing Mace will probably be available during Cataclysm Time Walking and so on.
That makes sense.
It's pretty interesting to see these unique transmogs become available to players, and we could see a lot of other items make their way into player hands if this Time Lost option is expanded further. Now, the Turbulent Timeways event might also have accidentally revealed the release date for patch 11.17. We've seen the Turbulent Timeways event quite a few times in the past, and it usually starts up the week the patch launches or the week after the patch launches. On the PTR, the Turbulent Timeways event is scheduled to start on June 17th, which means if these dates are accurate...
It's showing like a completely different date on here, but June 17th. Okay, yeah, June 17th is the start of this thing. That makes sense. With this June release
date. For the last few patches, patch 11.17 could go live as early as June 17th or the week before on June 10th, so we probably don't have too much longer to wait for all of this content to come our way. Now, something else that's new in patch 11.17 is a brand new spell that every class and race will have access to. The spell is called Recuperate, and its purpose is pretty obvious. Recuperate can only be used out of combat, and it will restore 150% of your max health over 30 seconds. It's got a fun little animation. You plop down a campfire, cook some food, and chill out with your little snack.
What the hell? Where'd this come from? You see, this is why we watch these videos, Cadence. You dumb bitch, look at this. We just figured out there's a whole healing thing in the game. What? I thought he was joking when he said every class can heal. So, I mean, this is what we used to, I mean, this in regular WoW, we just used to eat food, right? You carry food around with you, that's how you heal. Now they added this into the game where you can just channel this and you don't have to have food around anymore? What the hell?
back. It also doesn't seem to have a cooldown, so you can use this as often as you want. This ability gives you a reliable out-of-combat heal that every class will have access to, so you don't have to worry about carrying food around.
That's freaking huge. What the hell? What are mages going to do now? Nobody play mage anymore. You were supposed to just make food for people. You don't have to anymore. What? This is actually insane. This is going to help so much with leveling, too.
Or if that food is actually going to regen your health at a decent pace. So if you're low health in between dungeon pulls or delve pulls...
You still need food for the food buff. That's true, but when it comes to just like, drinking water and eating between pulls, that's not going to be a thing anymore.
Just while you're out in the world questing and you don't have any other heals to top you off quickly, Recuperate is going to help out a lot. Then we're also going to see the addition of a new meta achievement for the Legion expansion called Ashes to Ashes. Just like every other large meta achievement, it's going to ask you to take part in all kinds of content stretching across every patch from the Legion expansion, including clearing through raids, farming reputations, and completing zone meta achievements. All of this content is already available and in the game, so if you wanted to, you could start working on this stuff before the patch goes live. Oh, cool. It just depends on how busy you are in game, I guess. The achievement will reward the rights of the Fell Soul mount, which hopefully looks really cool, but it doesn't have a model on the PTR just yet for us to preview, so maybe they'll be keeping this one as a bit of a surprise. We'll have to wait and see. But that's all of the new features coming in patch 11.17, so that's it for this video. What do you think of the patch from what you've seen so far, and what are you most excited for?
I'm excited for all of it.
The Overcharged Delves update, the new lore walking feature, or maybe the rotation assist?
As long as it's not hyper time gated. I hope they don't do that again. I think that was a mistake in this patch, to freaking make half the patch not available basically at the launch. I just say, make time gate a little bit. Okay, you got the belt time gated. That's fine. All right, make the rest of this available, please.
Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.
Very cool. Nice video from Kalani. Nice little summary there. We'll probably watch about 6 more videos summarizing 11.1.7 before it comes out, because I gotta milk the shit out of this. But for the most part, it looks like an exciting patch. We're getting some new stuff, new lore stuff. That's really, really cool. The overpowered delves, everything else. A decent 0.7 patch, I would say, before what's really going to hit next, which will be 11.2, the final big patch of this expansion. Believe it or not, guys, we're almost done with this expansion. That's pretty crazy. Nice video from Kalani.